Am I in your way?
No, 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 that's
Okay.
sorry,
So-
I don't want to bother you.
oh, that's okay. I'm botherable.
Just having a look.
I'm not even sure what this is. Do you know what the names are?
Yeah, there's the 65 persons that signed the Declaration of
Oh my
Independence.
goodness. See, here you are. You sound like from another country and I live here. I don't know what this is.
No worries. Well, that's the thing when you're
Right.
surrounded by that much history, you tend to ignore it, right?
Right.
There.
Or I never go to the Washington Monument until somebody comes into town. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Where's home for you?
Sorry?
Where's home?
Well, now here in the States, but we are originally from Eastern Europe, Romania.
Oh, really? Wonderful. Well, my heritage is Slovak. So-
Pretty much neighbors with us.
right. Czech, yeah. Yeah. No, Slovak, yeah. No, Slovak, yeah. Yeah, no, Slovakia. Yeah, my grandparents came. My parents spoke, but we weren't. We didn't. Yeah, they just at that time you're American, kind of thing. And now it's much different. Yeah, yeah. But it's fun. But I see the same immigration story. Even like from the Middle East coming here, or maybe even you guys. It's the same. This country is just built for immigrants to come and do good. Yeah.
The dream, right?
Right, exactly. It's wonderful.
Have fun.
Have fun. Thank you. So how'd you like that, huh? You see, I'm sitting, this is, I think I showed you this once before, said here, this is near the Lincoln Memorial and near the Vietnam Memorial, which I'm a Vietnam vet. 3 years and 2 months and 9 days, and it got me an MBA. That's how I use that money, to get an MBA. But the title here of the 186,000 people who in 2 days applied for this business grant at the SBA, and it's for the restaurant grant. And it's really from 1,000 to 10 million. And it's only about $25 billion. So the money is probably gone already, tell you the truth, after 2 days. But it's set aside for small businesses. In other words, the people who, I think the first couple days or maybe 20 days, they're only going to take applications from very small companies. So it's still worth applying. And that's restaurants.sba. Make sure you do that. But again, it's only one piece of the puzzle. You see that, and you see the PPP money that they say it's run out. It hasn't run out. It's run out for a lot of people, but not if you're a small business. You could still apply, and the Wamplies and everything like that probably say you can't apply. But if you are still a small business or an independent contractor or whatever, you go through a Community Development Financial Institution. What is it? Community CDFI. And if you put Community Development Financial Institution find, and you'll see a website they have set up to find those banks in your area that are still accepting application. So it's probably best not to use all the fintech applications that are out there, Womply and people like that. And use the one that is, contact these banks that are your area, small little community banks. They have money left. The other ones don't. That's as far as, but this changes every day. So you got to be flexible, and don't trust me. Just go and apply and see what the hell happens. But this is also very interesting about the restaurant, what's going on. I mean, the restaurant, this article in the New York Times today, let's see where it said, more than 100,000 restaurants and bars temporarily or permanently closed this year. So we have 100,000 restaurants that have closed this year so far, 100,000. And there's 200,000 already applying for this. So I guess, I don't know, the ones that want to be closed, right? And it says, right now, about a quarter of restaurant owners expect to return to normal operations in the next 6 months. So only a quarter. So that means only 25% of the restaurants think they'll be in business in 6 months. So this is a business that's, really take a big hit because nobody goes out. Actually, where I live, it's starting to open up. We went to a restaurant open up. We're all 6 feet apart inside. It was too chilly for outside, so we went inside, and with masks and more than 6 feet apart was bad. But the restaurant industry is huge. And Biden gave a speech on this yesterday saying how important it was. He said, Biden said, described restaurant as an important foundations of the community and gateways to opportunities that were more than a major part to our country. In other words, actually what he says, 1 in 3 Americans, a restaurant provided their first job. So out of 1 in 3 people that are in America today, their first job was in a restaurant. And more than half of all Americans have worked in a restaurant at some time in their life. So restaurant, man, this is the entry we have into capitalism, I guess. Mr. Biden said on Wednesday that he expected the current fund to enable 100,000 restaurants. Well, they already applied 180,000, but we don't know how many of those are small businesses because the big guys aren't going to get it. It's all set aside. The first people in line who are a minority or disadvantaged or vets, things like that, women-owned business, are the ones who get the money first, and that's going to be in the first 21 days. Let's see. Okay, actually Biden gave this speech at a Mexican restaurant here in Washington, D.C., which was sort of interesting. But more importantly, all this stuff that you see, oh, this has money, this doesn't have money, you can't believe headlines, because the headlines, there's no PPP, but yes, there is, but it's different, and it's in a special area. So you have to look at the small print. And that's the important, the small print rules, and that's where the opportunities are. Plus, a video earlier, I did a little bit earlier about there's $1 trillion that has not been given out of stimulus money, $1 trillion. Now we already passed, I think, $6 trillion of stimulus money. But of the $4 trillion, and 2 of those trillion was just passed, so they haven't given out any of that. But the $4 trillion that we've passed by law and is available, $1 trillion has not been given out to people yet. $1 trillion. So this is 25% of all the money in the stimulus program has not given out to people. It's sitting there at your state and local government. So if you're a business, okay, here's what to do. If you're a member of Let's Go Help, we'll send you a whole bunch of places where to go in your state to check for this money. But if you're not, here's where you go. You go to www.eda, Economic Development Administration, eda.gov, eda.gov, okay? You go to that website and you look for a directory, because they have a state-by-state directory for the economicdevelopment.gov of all the economic development offices in your state. That's who will know about all the programs better than I will, better than anybody else on the internet, because they're in the business of creating businesses in their state. These are the people. In any state, you'll see there's 20, 30, 40, 50 of them. In your state that are nonprofit or government organizations whose job it is, listen to this, whose job it is to help you start a business, okay? They're, and that's what they do. They get paid. I got to get paid to pay for to pay my mortgage and stuff like that. These people get grants to help you for free. So go to them first. Eda.gov, Economic Development Agency, and you want to look for their directory on that website, and then just start calling. And you have to use the phone. You get that listing, you call the ones in your area first, and then you go out from that. You call the statewide for ones, and then there'll be county ones, and you just go down that list, man. Where does it say any state? Who says state? Did you go to Eda.gov? Well, you have to probably look around a little bit. I don't have all the information out here in the park of what comes after Eda.gov. But look around, you're looking for a directory by states, okay? And then you'll see it all there, okay? It takes a little work. Everything takes work. If you're not ready to do some work, then you really got to do something else. Because if you want to get the money, I mean, you may get lucky and it may not take work, but if you don't do the work, you're definitely not going to get any. You know, like I said, well, I just said the opposite. You may get lucky. Yes, you may. You'll get your IRS stimulus check because that takes no effort on your part most of the time. Sometimes you have to bang on them to get the money, you know, and that's going to take work. So, but after that, see, I mean, the $1,400 on the stimulus check, that's nothing compared. You know, there's an average of $20,000 per family that's given out in addition to the $1,400. But you got to work for that, man. You know, and that's why it's like getting a job, getting a date, getting anything in life. You just can't sit back and hope the most beautiful girl in the world, or person, or guy, or whatever you're after, will come up to your doorstep and knock on your door and say, hey, what are you doing tonight? No, no. I mean, if that happens to you, God bless you. That's a world I'll never know. So that's why it takes work on your, how do you get the $20,000? The $20,000 is part of the restaurant program. And that restaurant program, you go to restaurants.sba.gov. Restaurants, plural, .sba.gov, okay? And you could apply there, and just apply. The same way, try to find, you know, for the PPP, try to find the community development bank, CD, community development, CDF. I always forgot it already. CDIF bank, community development bank. And apply there, call them up to say if they're taking the PPP applications, it will not cost you any money. They get money from the SBA to help you fill out the application, and you work with them. If they're too busy or whatever, you go to the next one. If they're lousy and they can't answer your question, you go to the next one. Things like that. If you're really stuck and don't know, you could go to your local small business development center. That's a SBDC, but the website is Americas, AMERICAS, and then SBDC.org, Americas, AMERICAS, and then SBDC.org. Okay. And that's what it's about. So the stuff is out there. There's $1 trillion, $1 trillion. You know, that's like $10,000 for everybody that is not given out yet from the old stuff. That's not the new stuff. So that's why you have to start digging, and don't rely on somebody else doing something for you, because if you don't do it, if you don't want it bad enough, well, somebody else does, and they're going to get it and not you. And that's, you know, sure, there's exceptions, you know the word I'm trying to say. And everybody will say, there are people I used to put my infomercial, you know, the guy said, yeah, I was in my basement and I made $1 million in 13 hours, you know. You can always find those people. I don't know if they're lying or what, but they're certainly willing to do it. But that's not going to happen to you or me or anybody else you're going to know. The rest of us are going to have to work our ass off and just hope like hell, because still there's no guarantee. You're going to have to work your ass off and still not be guaranteed it's going to happen. You know, but that is life. And all I know is hundreds and hundreds of millions of people every year get this money. So it is there, it is real, it happens all the time. Just go to, you know, Let's Go Help on our closed Facebook, you can see the testimonials of all the people that get wonderful things. I mean, I don't know if I told you this, about 2 days ago, this lady said, yeah, because of me, she got $30,000 in different grants. Wow. I had no idea. Yeah. Another guy just wrote me yesterday, he said, yeah, I made this call, and this lady sent me down, whatever, paid my past rent, paid my past utility bill, showed me all this stuff or whatever. And that's why a lot of it, we're not trained to do this. We're not trained to use the system. We're trained to spend money. And this good stuff doesn't take money. So you can't find it because they don't want your money, so they won't look for you. You have to look for them. And the internet and Google and all this is set up for people who want to give the internet and Google money to find you. And that means they have to get money from you. So the people I'm going to tell you about, none of the websites that I have on Let's Go Help are going to ask for your money. Everything I give you are going to give you money or give you something free, give you free help or whatever the heck you need. Get your dental work done for free, all this kind of stuff. They'll never ask you for money. But see, that's why you can't find them on Google, because Google is set up for people to pay them money so they can find you and show you their ad, and then you'll give their customer money so they could keep giving Google money. They got to get your money so they could give you Google money. But the people that give out free money, the government nonprofits, have no money to give to Google. So that's why it takes work on your side, and that's good though, because it costs you nothing. It costs you time to learn the system. And that's what it's all about. Because we don't teach that in school. We don't teach that. We teach all the seminars are all about how you have to make money, have to spend money to make money. That's nonsense. That's true in some places and probably true, but it doesn't have to be. I never did. Every business I started with zero money. And sure, a bunch of them failed, but they would have failed. Actually, the venture capital money, the smartest people in the world that start businesses, like the Shark Tank people, those businesses that get money from Shark Tank, only 15% are successful. 15%. The average for small business is 50% successful. So don't invest in those Shark Tank people. They have a lousy record than your just average small business. Now that's interesting data. Okay, Eda.gov. What I'm doing there too is that if you belong, join Eda.gov, Let'sGoHelp.com, I'm sorry, Let'sGoHelp.com, and that's the Facebook group. Then when you get there, I give you a link to get into our new group, which is free to members, and it's called Let's Go Help 2. That's on a different platform, but that's run by state. That's where you go and find out what's in your state. That's where you go and get people who have applied to programs in your state, and will show you them, what they do. That's where you go to get people that have already helped with programs in your state, and will help you for free. See, I'm telling you, we got to get a place set up in this country where people help each other to find things they already found out about, so they share it with. Share the wealth. Help people help themselves, and that's the best way to live, and then that will increase your life. I'm biased, and I don't have scientific data to back that up, but I feel that personally, and think it's the way to live. I mean, the most selfish thing in the world to do is to give. And if you keep giving to people and helping people, boy, that feels so good, and it gets rid of a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And we got a lot of that built up from this COVID thing. Okay, see you soon in the COVID world.